for this particular part of design. Okay, so whenever we are going for design, in case of design, we should be very much clear that how the what are the various types of systems. Okay, collection for we can say a dry water, as well as dry water means what it is a dry system and water carrier system. Okay, now in case of this one system types of systems, we do have the systems like a combined system, separate system, and partially separate system. Okay, now the case of combined system you can see here is in the next this one. So this one is the separate system. Okay, so here you can see this one is the separate system. Separate system means what? Whatever the drains are there, those drains are separate, right? So those drains would be okay. Now those drains are separate drains. Whenever we are concerned about the we can say a rainwater, then here you can see there are two drains which have been let. Okay, one drain is which is blue. Second one is yellow. So blue one it is showing actually the collection which is concerned to storm water. Okay, so here you can see the uh, road, and from the road drains storm drain, the water has been collected and it is being diverted to this particular line. And again here you can see from the roof, whatever roof collection is there, that has been also it has been collected here, over here. So that means what? Whatever the rainwater is there, that rainwater is been collected. And generally this particular pipe would be very active during these particular dates, that is July to August, September, etc. So likewise, what during the rainy season, these their details, these pipes would be active over there. But still, the we can say quantity wise, it is huge. Okay, so as compared to we can say dry this one, whatever the household wastewater is in there, that compared to that particular part, it is very huge. So that is why whatever the design is there, that design would be also different. But the thing is that every time we don't have to care about the stormwater drain and this one, so it would be different. So the care we have to take, it is differently. So depending upon the type of flow, the flow would be diverted over there. Okay, so in case of in case of the flow which is the, just a minute. Okay, so in case of the flow which has been collected over here, so it would be we can say a separate system. So we have to go for this particular separate system. Now, yeah, the difference between these two pipes would be like this pipe would be flowing throughout the year. That is the case, and this pipe would be having a pipe. In case of we can say in case of Indian condition, these pipes would be running with water for about 3.5 to 4 months. Okay, so that is the basic difference between these two. But depending upon the requirement, these systems would be having we can say these systems would be designed. Okay, and depending upon the design, these separate system would be designed. Okay, so again it is a kind of requirement. This is the first way in which the the flow wastewater flow can be diverted and it can be collected. Okay, so it is collected differently, it is collected differently. So the whatever the wastewater quality also is there, that wastewater quality in this pipe would be different, in this pipe would be different, definitely. So wastewater quality here, basically this would be called as a gray water. So this water would be collected differently, and so it would be very much easier for us to go for treatment, because this water, that is storm water, won't be having any kind of change in we can say quality. Just we have to go for the initial physical this one treatments, that is fine, and then that is can be diverted to disposal. But in case of this particular water that is coming from the household, and this one gray water you can say, so that requires a certain treatment. So this would be diverted to the wastewater treatment plant. Okay, so likewise, depending upon the kind of situation which has been available over there, it would be like designed. Okay, this is first system. The second system is combined. Okay, so the pipe would be combined over there. We don't have two different this one wherever this pipe collection is there, water collection is there, that wastewater collection would be directly into this particular single pipe. Okay, there won't be two different pipes. So in single pipe, whatever the wastewater is there, that wastewater gray water would be collected, also storm water would be also coming. The problem regarding this type of pipes is these would be running full, or whatever the design we generally design pipes for about 0.75 to zero point 0.8 times full. Okay, so these pipes would be running full with water during the 3 to 4 months itself. But remaining period in Indian condition, for remaining period, these would be flowing with this one dry wastewater. Okay, again it is not dry wastewater; it is dry weather flow. Okay, so that flow would be available. So that flow would be very less. So the disadvantage of this particular system is during the 8 months period, the flow would be available very less. Okay, so that is again kind of requirement. Depending upon the kind of requirement we do have, this system is been planned. Okay, so likewise, these details are this is the second option we do have, that is combined separate system. So separate system we do have a separate flow. So in case of this one combined one, there would be a combined flow. Okay, so it would be a mixture of rainwater and sanitary wastewater. So likewise, those would be collected, and depending upon the kind of collection, the kind of water, we can say the quantity of water and the quality of water. Depending upon that, it would be taken to wastewater treatment plant, and again it would be treated, and then it would be disposed. So it all depends on the kind of availability of the flow. But in this case, whatever the flow available, that is in separate system, the whatever the flow available throughout the year, here in this case we don't have to care about the kind of quality. The quality would be same here the quality also would be almost same. Okay, so we don't have to care about this one. So every time the quality would be same, and every time you have to go for the same type of wastewater treatment, and then go for the disposal. Here also the same kind of treatment, physical treatment we have to give, and it would be thrown out. But in this case, for 8 months we have to take care differently, and for remaining 4 months we have to take care differently. But again, it would be a system which is again a kind of requirement, and second one again depending upon the kind of situation. Okay, so everywhere whenever we are going for this one laying the this one drains, the situation is different. The next part is this one combined system. Again, this one is the combined system itself. Again, here you can see the water is been there, the water is been collected. Next part is a partially separate system. So it again depends on the kind of system. So in some region, the system would be combined. In some region, the system would be separate. So that's why it would be called as a partially separate system. So it is again called as a partially separate system or partially combined system, whatever the name. So it all depends on the kind of situation with requirement. So wherever the situation requirement is there, combined one, the combined pipe is being laid. Wherever it is possible to lay the separate pipes, the separate pipes are laid. So that is why it is a combination of combined and separate. So these are the three types of systems we do have, right? For collection. So it is whatever the quantity is there. That first of all, that quantity has to be estimated. After estimating that quantity, how that quantity of water is being conveyed. So how to convey to the disposal point. That is very necessary. So it all depends on us as engineer, that to plan out that how the wastewater can be collected in the separate system, in the combined system, or the partial separate system, or partial combined system. So likewise, these are the various options we do have. Depending upon the condition, we are going for that particular part. Okay. Now Again, whenever we are concerned about the collection means what? Quantity. Okay, so whenever we are concerned about the quantity, we have to go for the quantity estimation. Okay, so the quantity estimation again, we do have DWF and WWF, that is wet weather flow and dry weather flow. So we have to actually estimate what would be the dry weather flow and what would be the wet weather flow, and depending upon the quantity estimation, then we have to suggest that which kind of system is applicable over there, depending upon again the kind of topography we do have about of that area. So all these things we have to take into consideration and then go for this one quantity calculation and then go for the options. Okay, so in case of dry weather flow, the calculation would be there. Now I would be giving you details regarding the estimation of dry weather flow, estimation of wet weather flow, how the estimation is being carried out, and depending upon that particular part of estimation, depending upon that part of estimation, we are going for calculations. Again, the various calculations like problems would be there. So again, I would again suggest you, well, even though the problems are been given with this this one with solution, try to go for a calculation of your own. So I uh, I'm expecting that you are having your own notes soon. Okay. So in case of dry weather flow, what is the calculation? The calculation is the dry weather flow has been calculated as here yesterday we have calculated the population equivalent. Right now, we do have information of an area. Okay. So if it is a city or town, then that particular city we do have generally do have the information regarding the population. Okay, so generally means what it would be exact count for us. So that count we can have, and again per capita sewage flow is also is being calculated. Okay, before going for per capita sewage flow, we should have the information of what is the amount of water being supplied. Okay, so this part we have to calculate, that is per capita sewage flow we have to calculate, right? So per capita sewage flow multiplied by population, then definitely we are having the total flow q. Okay, so per capita sewage flow is calculated as per capita water supply, whatever the per capita water supply multiplied with the factor. Generally this factor would be about zero point 0.7 to zero point 0.8. Okay, so this particular factor we can utilize. Even in case this particular factor can be one, where there would be additional water supply, there would be additional kind of water being utilized, and that additional water supply can be in towns also. Most of times in the towns where additional supply of water like wells are there. Okay, so apart from regular water supply, the additional water has been also been utilized. That is why the total water which has been supplied can be considered as the total water it is coming for the wastewater, right? So likewise, that calculation is there. In case of the developed cities, there is no need to go for that factor to be increased. That factor would be about zero point 0.7 to zero point 0.8. That factor we can consider, because there is no any additional water supply. So that part we can go for the calculation. So per capita water supply. So generally in case of water supply, I would like to have the answer from your side. What is the per capita water supply in our area? Do you have any knowledge regarding this one? We have gone for environmental one, so you should be knowing about the per capita water supply, or even as civil engineer, you should know the thing, that is the per capita water supply. What is the per capita water supply in our area? Yes, no one wants to give answer, or no one is attentive. Okay, let it be. So the amount of the per capita water supply again depends. It depends on the kind of city which has been developing over there. So uh, the kind of we can say city or town where the city or town is developing. Likewise, it all depends on that. So like the town or city like Kolhapur, we do have a supplier for this one water. Now again, as per the standard IS code, we can say the per capita water supply we can consider as 135 liters per day per capita. So that is very sure everyone can give that particular answer. But again, it is the average which is the we can say uh, it is a national average. Okay, so don't every time go for that particular figure. The figure we can go for is a particular for town. Now, the city like Kolhapur, we do have the water supply like in between 220 to 50 liters per day per capita. Okay, so likewise, it all depends on the kind of situation over there. So again, it is concerned to design, right? So how the water system has been designed, water supply system has been designed. So it all depends on that per capita water supply. So per capita water supply we can have, and the factor we can multiply. So the factor is to count for the percentage of the water converted into wastewater. So that is the so generally the factor would be 70 to 80%, as I've told you. And whenever we are concerned about the flow of dry weather flow calculation, then it would be equal to population multiplied by per capita water supply per multiplied by factor. So this is the formula we are going for calculation of dry weather flow. Okay, so this would be the quantity of dry weather flow we can go for. So this one is the one formula we do have. Now wet weather flow. In case of wet weather flow, we can go for to estimate the stormwater from urban areas. Rational formula you can utilize. Okay, so you might have gone for this in fluid mechanics too. So in case of this one wet weather flow calculation, we can go for this particular rational formula, that is AIR divided by 360, where whatever area is there, that area would be a catchment area. Catchment area divided, it would be yeah, available in terms of hectares. Okay, so this formula, whenever this rational formula we are going to utilize, then whatever these notations are there, those notations would be that means figures we would be utilizing, and those figures would be utilizing with respect to that particular we can say units itself. So if the unit here, the area of the catchment, whenever we are putting the unit or whenever putting the area has to be put into hectares. So this would be the area, which is the area of the catchment in the hectares. Second one is impermeability. I is impermeability. So impermeability is the coefficient of factor or runoff factor. So here again, the impermeability means what? Whatever the area which has been open, whatever the area which has been covered. Now covered means what? It is covered with the construction, like road, then the areas which are constructed houses, etc., etc. So likewise, whatever the area which has been there, which has been converted in terms of impermeability into uh, uh, permeability into impermeability area. Okay, so that particular factor we can have, that is runoff factor. And generally runoff factor, whenever we are going for, then it would be calculated as runoff divided by rainfall. Okay, and again, whenever we are putting rainfall would be generally put in terms of millimeter per hour. Generally, it is given in that particular form itself. So I would be uh, put over there in terms of that, and R would be rainfall intensity. So what is I? Whenever we are calculating I, then it would be like the figure is being given over here. Okay, so based on that particular figure, you can see the various again, depending upon the topography, we are going to have the various areas and various intensities. So those details we are going to get, and after getting those details, then here a summation of a areas into summation of intensities. Okay, so those things we can go for divided by area. So we are going to get the uh, the the area which is impermeability area. Okay, so total area which has been available and area which has been covered. So those things we can go for, and we can go for calculation of R. Hello. And next part is R. Okay, so that is the depth of penetration is Sorry for the disconnection. So now the next part is concern about okay. So the next part is concern about the example. Okay. So the example we can go for, that is okay. So right now, whatever these details are there, those details are being given in example. That is, first of all, area. Area is given in terms of hectares. That is 100 hectare area is there. Impermeability factor is 0.5, and time of concentration is 50 minutes. Right. So these with the help of these details, we can go for the this equation for calculation of various factors. One is first of all the AIR. First factor is R. We are going to calculate. Now R is calculated 25.4 into A. So that particular part we have gone for calculation, that is 14.51. In that case, uh, the time of concentration is more than it is more than 20. So these are the various factors we have selected, and based on those factors we have gone for calculation of R. Okay, after getting R, I is known, and A is known, this formula can be implemented, and after implementation of this particular formula, then we have got this wet weather flow. So wet weather flow, total wet weather flow we have got as 2.016. Okay, so this is the one part we know now. Okay. Now the second part is dry weather flow. Now in case of dry weather flow, again you can see population per capita, this one flow, and that particular factor we should know. So the population right now, it is been given. So in this problem, this one is given, that is population is given, is this one, that is generation 5. Next one is the per capita flow. The per capita flow is 200, this one, and the factor which is sewage factor is there, that is 0.75. So it is in between zero point 0.7 to zero point 0.8, that is fine. so it is 0.75. So based on that, you can go for the calculation which is dry weather flow. So dry weather flow would be equal to, in this case, it is 0.1736 meter cube per second. So here you can compare that what kind of this one is there. That is what is the kind of um, flow. Okay, so the flow here is 2.016, and here it is 0.1736. That means what, if you find out the factor, then the factor would be the whatever the wet weather flow is more than about 12 times more than the dry weather flow. So likewise, those details also we should have, so that it depends. It all again depends on the kind of actual area which has been available, actual area of the collection. And second one is the flow, which is drinking water flow. Okay, so depending upon the drinking water flow, there would be a sewage which is coming out. Okay, so all these details we should be in a position to have the calculation of. Okay, so these details we should be in a position to understand. So what we have seen today, just will take kind of so just we have gone for today is understanding the details depending on what do you mean by types of various conservation systems. The various conservation systems are separate systems, combined system, and partially combined or partially separate systems. So these are the various systems we do have. Okay, and that can be used for a collection of the wastewater, right? So again, as civil engineers, we have to see that how those wastewater can be collected. Next part, we have seen that how to estimate, how to go for the calculation of the dry weather flow and the wet weather flow. So for the calculation of the dry weather flow, it is very easy. Whatever the population, if you do have, and whatever the per capita water flow, if you do have, depending upon that, we can go for calculation of wastewater flow. Okay, so generally, whatever the water flow is there, out of that, it is 70 to 80% that that water flow we have to take and multiply to population, then directly we can go for a dry weather flow. And in case of wet weather flow, whatever we are calculating, it all depends on the kind of situations available. So whatever the rational formula is there, that rational formula we are utilizing, and out of that rational formula, we do have the AIR, that is catchment area, impermeability, and rainfall intensity. And depending upon those various factors, we can go for the calculation and find out the details in that formula. Again, these are the details which are concerned about the time of concentration, that is time of concentration of the rainfall. Okay, so all those details we do have depending upon that particular factors. Again, the formula is there, and in that particular formula, again, constants we have to put in. Again, depending upon the kind of situation which has been available, those constants are to be put in. So A and B are being put in, and then we have gone for the actual calculation. So whatever the time of concentration is there, that the time of concentration does have, again, two components: time of entry, time of flow. So again, those details we can get, and directly we can put it into the formula. So those details, if on field, we have to go for finding out those details, and then we can go for calculation of the time of concentration. And after getting the time of concentration, then we can go for put all those things in the formula, a rational formula, and calculate what would be the quantity of flow. Okay, so the quantity of flow, the example we have taken, one example we have taken right now, that is giving all these details. So about 1 lakh people are there. Out of those 1 lakh people are residing in 100 hectares, and impermeability factor we have estimated as zero point 0.5, and time of concentration generally is 50 minutes. Then what would be the total wet weather flow? So wet weather flow is been calculated here, depending upon the kind of situation over here. And then uh, dry weather flow is again, as I've said earlier, that the dry weather flow, it would be a kind of constant flow throughout the year. So we there is no change in the population. There would be change in population if the area is very, very, we can say, progressive. but still the population we do generally we know. So this particular figure, it won't have any change, most of the change. And then per capita, water supply is also is not going to change. And the factor, whatever the factor we are in that area, that factor would be also won't be having that particular change. So generally throughout the year, whenever we are calculating dry weather flow quantity would be almost same. Okay, so there won't be any change. The change in the factor would be in this particular, that is the wet weather flow. Whatever the weather flow, it all depends on the kind of situations during the monsoon season in case of India. So those things, if after observation we can go for the calculation of wet weather flow, and depending upon these two factors, then it is we can decide that this particular factor has to be, that is wet weather flow has to be conveyed in a separate system or not, and the dry weather flow has to be conveyed in the separate system or in the combined system of partially separate system. So it all depends on the kind of situations we do. Again, the person in charge, that is in the hydraulic engineer who is in charge, he's going to take all the decisions. So all the decisions will be taken by civil engineers, right? So if you have any doubt, you can ask those doubt. Otherwise, uh, to this particular point, I think we have come to an end of the lecture. So it is about 11:50. So we can stop over here, and from this particular point itself we can start further. Okay, thank you for attending the lecture.